been teaching, both privately and publicly, since the 1970s, and I started playing piano when I was 4 years old. Music has always been a major interest of mine, and what I remember best about growing up were all the performances, were all the dances, were all the musicals, and all the concerts that I performed in. I wasn't always the most diligent student, but I really loved what I was doing. Music has challenged and enriched my life in ways that I cannot express. Back in the mid-1990s, I was asked to start an instrumental program for homeschooled students and their parents. Among those who wanted lessons, some had skill and some had absolutely no experience. I was hired to teach this group in a group setting of families that could accommodate the entire spectrum of their ability. Needless to say, it was an organizational challenge. To meet this challenge, every exercise and every song that I wrote for them contained variations that could be played together, and the only difference that they had was in their complexity. Each variation ranged from the most basic to very complex variations, and that way, skilled players can play right next to their children who are just learning to play. The focus of this band method was primarily designed to teach people how to read music as efficiently as possible. However, while I was in graduate school, I wrote papers on the importance of learning how to improvise. When you improvise, you just make songs up from memory and from snippets that you heard before and just from creative thought. It's very important for a musician to be able to think creatively, and improvising is a great way to access the most expressive parts of your being. When we were kids, we would just simply listen to songs and noodle around on our instruments until we figured out the basic chord structure and the melody, and then we'd put it together and we'd mimic the sound of the bands, and off we'd go to play at dances and frat parties, and here and there, and eventually we became accomplished musicians. I played my way through college by playing songs either by ear or from lead sheets, simple sketches of songs. Eventually, I became a classically trained musician, and I still loved improvising. This approach that we've created here, it acknowledges the creative desire in each individual. And we realize that some of the best learning takes place when we learn to play by ear. This whole notion of playing by ear is controversial among musicians, and it always has been. You're going to hear accomplished musicians say things like people who can't read music aren't really musicians. But I don't believe that, and I think that music is for everybody. We've named our program the Jam Factory Concept. And in just a short time, I believe I can have you playing just like a pro. Probably in about 3 hours you're going to be using all the keys on the keyboard and playing something like this. Having said all that, I'm anxious to get started. How about you?